Like, you can't just like run 5 scouts at it and think it's going to go away quickly.
Horseback scan initiated. I'm picking up a podcast arriving. Wait. Designation. Forge the narrative.
Hello and welcome everyone to Forge the Narrative. My name is Paul Murphy. I'm joined by Adam Camilleri. Adam, how are you doing today?
Pretty dang well, my dude. How are you?
Doing all right. This is the Bell Lost Souls podcast. Thank you all for joining us. I'm sorry we had to miss a week. It has been up and down here. Weather's been all over the place. I've been all over the place, and I'm sure some of y'all have been all over the place, but I'm incredibly happy to be back. Red is out in the field. Tanya is also out in the field. Should hopefully get everybody here next week. But there have been some previews, some things that we've seen on the Warhammer community site. We got some things to talk about and did not want another week to go by before we all came back together. So, Adam, welcome back.
It's a pleasure to be here, my dude.
Direct your eyes, if you haven't already been there, to the Warhammer community page. It is like tuning in to be like Relics Week, which is all kind of cool new merch and stuff like that. The plushies, I can tell you, as someone who has spent a lot of time in the Games Workshop booths at conventions and stuff, the plushies are incredibly popular, and I'm willing to bet that there's one that got up on the community site today that's going to fly off the shelves, or fling itself off the shelves, if I can say, and that is going to be that plushie Power Fist.
I 100% agree. Bold of them to give us the Power Fists. I really hope they're going to follow through and give us like plushie Thunderhammers and all the rest of them. That'll be sweet.
Oh my goodness, a wearable Power Fist coming soon. They're just fun. Like, it's one of those things people walk by, they're like, well, can I touch that? Like, yeah, you absolutely can. Not only touch it, you can take it home with it, if you want to.
Absolutely.
You got the register.
In addition to that, we've had a couple of new units previewed as well, which have one of which has my heart quite aflutter, I have to say. But yeah, dude, 40k is just chugging away.
Yeah, tell me does it maybe about this tall?
Yep. Probably actually a little bit shorter. That's the big one. It's in the middle. Yeah. Somehow they're in the middle. I think this is really cool though, because they're starting to fill out the unit range for Imperial Knights. So now they're slotting another Knight chassis in between what has been, I guess, in size order, Armiger, Questoris, Dominus, Cerastus.
It feels like a real army when you can like lay everything out and you see the silhouettes, start to, be on little different tiers and stuff like that. It's real fun.
Well, you're gonna want it to imitate the human to Primarch. That's what you want. You want that step up.
Cool. Yeah, I can see that.
Yeah, and so I think this is a great move forward, and plus the model looks sweet.
Yeah,
I'm worried. I have one concern. Is that it's going to look too good next to the older kits. That's it. That's the only concern that I have, because it looks fresh, newly designed, a lot more rounded. The pieces all fit more cohesively together. I find with, the original Questoris kit had a lot of rounded plates, squared off plates, rounded plates, squared off plates.
Yeah.
Didn't always... because you want to paint them a bunch of different colors and you want to put all the heraldry and uniqueness, it can sometimes look like a bit of a hodgepodge.
And the banner there is something that's not seen on any other knight. And
yes.
So I can get, but look, let me rest you a little bit easy. The legs look very similar.
Yes, they do. The legs look extremely similar, except that they stole one of Chaos Knight's shticks, which is having the flip back knees. And I already know Chaos Knight players like, that was our special thing.
That was our thing.
You don't know what's coming in the future. You could have one with 3 knees coming next week.
I mean, look at
5 knees.
Tyler. There's all kind of that thing's got all kind of knees.
Oh, I already have mates who are like, I'm going to build a Chaos Knight just to file a kit.
Yeah,
and that's going to look sick. That's going to look so good.
So you can get the size comparison from the World Community article. Also, you'll see how it kind of fits in the middle between like the Gallant and War Dog type style.
It looks sweet as well. And it's called the Destria, and it does look like a thoroughbred. It looks like it's built for speed. And that's going to be a scary thing to put on the table. Like, we have had knights that go fast, do damage, and they have been like terrifying beasts.
This one's got a gun on it too. So, I like a multimodal, be able to threaten a couple things at once. And yeah, those anytime you see a weapon like that, it does big damage.
Yeah, well, it looks like it's only bringing to bear the same amount of gun as an armature. We don't know what those profiles are for necessarily, but armature comes with one gun, one big gun, one little gun, and a stab. And unless you go double gun, in which case no stab. This one looks like it's built off that chassis, which for the name sounds perfectly accurate. I love that it looks like has a mini Lancer piece, because of course the Lancer is the coolest that exists. I don't think that, I mean
it's up there on the list, man. It is up there.
I will argue until I cannot speak and that my fingerprints are gone from my fingers that the Lancer is the coolest of the Knight Shadow. That's how hard I will type in defense of the Lancer.
Okay. Well, come at us in the comments about what your favorite knight is
and
why.
Best shot. We also had a new Votann character preview. This is Beric Strawnbrow.
He's been through it.
I'd like this look for Votann because Uthar is like the destined. He has a harrowing story of going through it. We also have Bjori.
The Bjorn Agnerson or whatever, the guy by Tyranid.
Harrowing story, been through some stuff. This guy looks no different, and I think it is cool, and I really love that we get a absolutely. And I really want to see this model in person because either he is extra tiny or there is one massive orc head. Like, wow, what a massive!
Both. Yeah, it does look like a big orc head. He's mighty proud of it.
Yes, he is. His rules are pretty good as well. Like he's got two profiles in combat. Both are legit. Like 8 attacks at 7/2/2, with then having 2 extra attacks at 6/2/1, all hitting on 2s. He's toughness 6, which is a beautiful breakpoint to be at, with 5 wounds and a 4-up feel no pain and a 5-up vulnerable save. So he has a pseudo. He does, man. That's right. So like if you're just dealing 1 wound damage to him, like just bulk gun equivalent, you need to give him 7 saves on average to get through the invulnerable saves, and then almost double that to get through the feel no pains. So you need to give him like somewhere in the region of like 14 saves to kill him with bulk guns. And then of course he's a leader, so we finally get a berserker champion.
I think a lot of folks are excited about that, to throw him with that unit.
Yeah, giving him sustain hits 1 as well, so he's going to amplify the unit quite considerably. If this guy is like at all reasonable points cost, people like Votann players are already going to get him. But if he's like around about 100 or less, he's going to move. He's going to be in a lot of lists.
So do you think that this reflips it back to like an assault-based army? You think people are going to gravitate towards that? Because we've seen a lot of shooting and a lot of, a lot of the units in the Votann army have instantly been slotted into their list, and now they've just got a lot of choices.
Yeah, correct. Well, the Votann army range has exploded. We had the Steeljacks added and a bunch of other stuff as well. And now things are starting to get more well-rounded. Now, Votann has had somewhere between the build equivalents of Marines and Sisters, somewhere sitting in between, in which we get like 3 to 4 durable long-range chassis that are just good for like multi-purpose damage. I'm talking like Repulsor Execution equivalents, of course, to the Land Fortress. And then they could either go very MSU around those things with lots of Sagittars, Jaegers, and things like that, Pioneers, or they could start to throw the smackdown with Berserkers and Hearthguard. And I'm seeing more of the switch to go more MSU at the moment. I think mostly because the Hecatons are kind of just, sure, Hecatons will smash a Catan. The issue is you have to get too close to do it. And if they high roll you, you are dead. And that is the issue. It's too much a risk reward to put your whole game plan into driving 2 Hecatons at the Nightbringer and crossing your fingers. That's just not...
It feels like that Hecaton or 2 or like an insurance policy for the Votann. I think it's going to be tough, hard pressed not to take them in their list.
It absolutely is. I'm encouraging players to do it. Just experiment, see what's out there, see if because
it frees up some points, right? It figures up some of these other things.
Absolutely does. And just seeing how you like it when you don't take them in, because there's a lot of other, because for the first time there's a lot of other really good units out there. It used to be there wasn't. It used to be like, well, my list starts at here's my 2 characters and my 2 Hecatons, 3 Hecatons, and then you had to figure out what you wanted around that. But now you're good. Your range is feeling very robust with a lot of good options in the meta at the moment.
I like it how you could have, like, if you're a Votann player, now if you have a deep collection of the kits that are available, you could have almost 2 or 3 distinct type of armies.
And it's the identity is starting to get filled out as well. But of course you have armies like Delve, which is the Delve Assault group, which is the Berserker one. Then there's one for all the Jaegers and that, which isn't quite It's one of the coolest attachments, but doesn't quite hit the nail just yet because it has no rules that are applicable to monsters and vehicles, and there's a lot of monsters and vehicles in the game at the moment. So that one needs a little bit more of a meta change to come back into vogue. But that's not all we got given, mate. Twin Lance for Tau.
Before we jump to that, I want to say that's kind of why I feel like those hecatons and that insurance policy. It's like you have to be able to solve for those things, but just maybe, there's a way to do it with some of these other things.
Well, exactly. To your point, they're the reliable backbone. They're like, reliable. And so, yeah, definitely not telling you never take your hecatons again, but just
get out of that comfort zone is what we're suggesting.
Yeah, get out of your comfort zone. Look in your book, go a bit deeper. What do you think about the Twin Lance models, by the way?
Love them actually. I think that they look cool. They look beefy. They look like I mean, of course they look like mechs, right? But they look like mechs from things like Gundam and Appleseed and that kind of stuff, which they've got that, but that also dynamic poses that evoke that type of like view.
100% I get the Appleseed vibes. They're sick. I have a criticism. Outside of the Cold Star kit, there is no need to buy any other commander kit ever again. This is the only kit you need for your
get this box
commanders now.
Use it for whatever you need.
Exactly right. Shop it up. The bits are sick. The poses are sick. The models are amazing. They look so good. As for the rules, my God, the rules are good. Really good, dude. I'm a little confused because it looks like this is 2 models with 1 profile. So it looks like it's 2 4-wound crisis suits had a baby. And so their movement 10, toughness 6 with a 2 up armor save, 4 up invulnerable save, 8 wounds total. And I'm like, thank God this isn't 2 8-wound models because that's more than a Riptide with the same save as a Riptide. That's wild. With Leadership 6 and OC 2. They also come with Deep Strike and, of course, their crisis suits. But Scout 8 is huge on these models with the weapons that they're bringing to bear. They have Fusion Eliminator, which is a 2-shot multi-melter, pretty much. They all hit on 2s with all their guns, pretty much, except for the twin pulse blasters and stuff on the drones. But Strength 10, AP 4, D6 damage, D6 plus 2. It moves 10 with Scout 8. Can be taken in Mondkar for a D6 assault and advance and shoot. So turn 1 can go, checks notes, 24 and blow you up.
Yikes.
Whew. And then, of course, comes with a good ion gun, comes with the burst system as well. These are all quality guns for different purpose. And then each time model this unit makes a range attack that targets the closest eligible target, that attack has sustained hits 1 and ignores cover, which couples perfectly with the retaliation cadre detachment as well, which gives you extra strength and AP depending on how close you are to your target. And then here's the real juice. At the end of the fight phase, this unit can either make a normal move of up to 6 or a fall back move. So you get to just like yeet 24 towards your opponent and blow it up in Mondkar and then back off 6 inches.
Come get me. I'm on the side of this building now.
This is a really points notwithstanding, but this could be bordering on auto take. Like if the points are juicy, this could be just every tower list windmill slam with how good this starter sheet.
I like it. I mean, they look cool. It checks off all the boxes. They got good guns. They fit very much into multiple Tau builds. Cool looking models, and new. Like
they brought back the donkey kick, mate. Do you remember the Onaga Gauntlet?
Yeah,
it was a relic used to take, which would let like your commander just like bang one shot. They brought that back for these guys. It's called the Fusion Eliminator, which is 1 attack, hits on a 4, but is strength 10, AP 4, D6. It's just a melter fit, and I'm jealous.
There's a lot of new stuff happening. We're going to take a quick break, take a word from our sponsors, come back and talk about the top 5 utility units in Warhammer 40,000 right now. See you in a second, everybody.
See you soon.
FTN is brought to you by Discount Games Inc. Please visit them at www.discountgamesinc.com. And don't forget to ask Jay about ways to save even more on your hobby projects.
We are back, everyone. This is for the top 5 utility units in Warhammer 40,000. Top 5 is going to be based off completely subjective criteria that we have chosen, and we'll talk a little bit about that. But it's going to be things that have, helped put an army back on the map, things that cannot not be taken because of their effectiveness, and things that they're basically enablers, things that allow you to interact or meaningfully change the pace of the game are huge factors into determining what our top 5 list for best utilities in Warhammer 40,000 are. Now, obviously, there are lots of good utility. A lot of army lists have utility units in their list, but we're going to be talking about the best.
We're going to have some honorable mentions. I would like to also say that in addition to taking into account all the things Paul just mentioned, a lot of the time, these are the units that keep your army relevant through the meta changes. Like, for example, one of the ones we're going to talk about is for Tyranids. Tyranids ain't doing so good right now, but a couple of these units mean that what could be you getting tabled on turn 3 is you playing to turn 5, for example. And your use of some of these utility units gives you just such a better outcome than you would have had otherwise. Now, we do have some honorable mentions because there are so many good utility units in the game. A lot of these utility units are going to be battle line, but some of these are going to be characters. Some of these are going to be non-battle line units as well. I have actually almost as many honorable mentions as we have.
What do you want to do first? You want to do the list first and then the honorable mentions, or the honorable mentions and then the list?
I'm going to do the honorable mentions. And it's going to start off with the humble Nurgling. And the reason the Nurgling makes it into here is because the Nurgling can be taken as allies for other armies as well. Because it adds to things like Chaos Knights just as much as it adds to Demons, where you have a small, footprint unit with a bunch of wounds. That's kind of annoying to get rid of. Like, you can't just run 5 scouts at it and think it's going to go away quickly. You actually paying to get rid of these guys, and they're very cheap, and they can't do actions 0 OC, which is why they're not in the top 5.
Yeah, but they could just stand near you and cause a problem. You got to go around them, like all the number of wounds you just mentioned.
Yep, and they have infiltrate, and that's just good. It's not good enough to make our top 5, but it's pretty good. Next up, we have witches for Drukhari as one of our honorable mentions, because it comes in unit of 10. If you could buy them as 5s by themselves and just have multiple 5s instead of having to take a venom to split them, they'd probably make that top 5. But you take a 10, you split it out, you have the gladiator weapons in the good side where you put the succubus, and then you have the 5 to just go put 10 OC and flip. Definitely an honorable mention there. Then we have Gretchen. They generate you a CP, they take up board space, they just get in the way, and they be annoying. They're going to die. Probably the only thing that dies easier than a guardsman in our game at the moment because they just explode with no toughness, no save. But they get a CP, they give you do action. Quite a key.
If they're absorbing anything in your opponent's army, they're basically winning.
If they could shoot something that hurt them and then had to shoot a Gretchen, winning, getting ahead in life. And then the last 2 honorable mentions is Adeptus. And you can probably tell which of the Adeptus Stars utility units is going to make our top 5 based on the 2 I'm about to tell you. Scouts and Incursors.
So these are the honorable mentions. They're not on the list. Incursors and Scouts.
If we had to have a 6th spot, and I specifically tried to not double up on armies, you'll see that as well for one of our examples. Stealth suits is another one that should get an honorable mention as well, which tells you probably which one's the top 5. But yeah, Scouts and Infiltrators, incredible units, more durable than so many other utility units, and offer both ranged output, melee output, and either dynamics in the form of coming off the table, coming back on the table like Scouts, or just an army buff in +1 hit that is so hard. Would you pay 2 or 3 CP to just point at a unit and be like, my whole army's +1 to hit versus that?
Yes.
That's what they bring. They bring that much value. But without further ado, into our top 5.
Number 5.
Starting off with number 5, we have Votann Jaegers.
So Jaegers put that army back on the map. Like when the Jaegers came onto the scene, the Votann got to play a whole extra turn, which is all they needed to show you what they were all about. Correct.
They got to get a tempo play back. Playing against Votann, you would always try and deploy on the front line and rush them down because they had Sagittars you had to get the models out of. They had Hecatons you had to try and shut down and corral or tag in combat multiple units because they can always fall back and do something with one unit. So you're always going to go tag the 3rd and the 4th and the 5th and the 6th. And there are armies in the game at the moment like World Leaders that would do that on turn 1 or guaranteed on turn 2. And there are so many other ones that want to put you under pressure. And Jaegers came in and changed the Votann game. They bought you time. Exactly right. And dude, when they came out, I was like, I remember the first time I played against them, I was like, oh yeah, I'll put my scouts 9 inches away from the Jaegers. If I go first, I'm just going to go kill the Jaegers. My scouts died a horrible death. The Jaegers had the plasma blades, and they killed me dead. They come with above average toughness. Sure, their save is only a 5+, but they come with infiltrate. They can have a transport as well. They can be split into 2 units of 5, and I think they are stupendous. So Jaegers coming in at number 5. And this is what I mean: game-changing utility unit. Coming in at number 4, the Tyranid unit I mentioned.
The Gargoyles. Here. The Gargoyles, like the humble Gargoyle. I can tell you when these units, those used to mean nothing, right?
Correct.
Used to be
nothing. They were a joke.
And it become one of the most vicious killing machines scoring machines, harrowing, screening machines.
Yeah.
In the entire game.
They are a control package. They go out there, they move hella far, they shoot and move again. You can bring models back, you can regenerate them, you can give them a feel no pain if you think they're going to live. They're probably not if your opponent knows, but they will corral, they will control, they will project, and they will flip objectives while they're doing so because they're 2 OC each. I think they are incredible. We did put slash Biovore here as well. Now, you were an advocate for the Biovore. You want to tell us why?
Yeah, so the Biovore, is basically is utility piece. You can sit back, you can do different things with it, can hang back off the kind of out of line of sight on objectives, forcing your opponent to try to interact with them to go through the rest of your army to do so, and that's not always easy to do.
Sits on your home objective. If your home objective is worth any primary, it's just going to get you primary every turn while projecting value into the board.
Yeah,
it's the Biovore. I mean, there's going to be a question that I'm going to put out like in our edition recap. Did the Biovore single-handedly score more points than any other model in? And it is going to be a discussion. There's a couple of contenders, but it is like top 3 highest scoring single models in this game.
Battle points awarded by a single data
slate. Yeah. Biovore. Yeah. And between the Gargoyle and the Biovore, they have kind of really propped up Tyranids through the changes of the edition. When their profiles haven't been good, they've been able to pull the scoring lever and just decide they're going to play the game in a different way, which is why these guys are going together. I personally think in the game right now, the Gargoyles are a little bit better because they stop you getting run over, but the Gargoyles are a one-shot piece. Like they go out, they probably take 5 primary off your opponent, maybe score you a card. They stop you from getting charged, then they die. That's incredible amount of value, but it is a one-off. Whereas the Biovore generates a little value every turn.
2 years ago, these are flipped. Right now, Gargoyles definitely they're in the 100%. As the number 1, but the Biovore is still very much a troublemaker out there in the world.
Absolutely. All right, into our number 3 slot. Should come as absolutely no surprise. It's a guardsman and particularly Catachans. I could have put all of the guardsman infantry here, but Catachans, I believe, are the exemplars and the best.
Who knew? When your kit only comes with flamers, sometimes you're a little less expensive than some of your counterparts from another planet.
It's the Scout 6 game changer. And in addition, I could have said any guard, any battle line guard infantry because they're all incredible utility units, but the Catachans are a little bit better for what we predominantly use utility units for in this example, which is generating points and value and like move blocking, holding space,
and punching.
Definitely. I mean, if it's punching most of the other things on this list, it's actually got a good chance. The Gretchen Catachan fight, let's go. But Catachans are incredible. Of course, they scout 6. You can, of course, be in a transport and give that scout 6. You can advance out of that transport. You get +3 move. You can punch harder. You can shoot harder. You can have a better save. They are just a multimodal powerhouse of scoring ability. You can throw 30 OC. 30 objective control out of these 10 fools. And, not a sleeve between them. Just vests and
a lot of sunglasses.
OC.
Yeah.
Some of the coolest looking dudes, of course. But yeah, Catachans 100% are in our top 5.
They can take orders too. I mean, like there's like the whole kind of things that really that's why they're on this list and as high as they are.
They're in a Taurox. So let's just say they don't, disembark from the Taurox after it moves. So they're going to scout 6 turn 1. They're going to disembark 3, then move 6, and then possibly be ordered for +3 move, then possibly advance 6. That's a 60-point model, 60-point unit. And like I said, you can switch the order as well. You want to spend a CP, you can flip that order to go to plus objective control, plus leadership if you want to, duty and honor. And oh my Lord, you just get to hold the table down and take all the primary score off you. But what's possibly better than them? There's 2 that I think I believe are better than Catachans. One of them is, I think, one of the most impressive units in the game. I look at the data sheet.
Are we on number 2 now? You want to go to number 2?
This is number 2, yes. I look at its data sheet and I think it has every rule. It has every rule. You can pick which rule, but you can't get access to every rule. This is the Pathfinder. And good Lord, Tau Empire Pathfinders. They are cheap as chips. Sure, it's just a toughness 3 model with not much of a save, but it can scout, it can invade, it can minus to charges, it can take a phenomenal amount of gun for this unit. Every time I look at the amount of gun that this unit has, I'm like, this is a Devastator squad. This is like Sternguard level gunnage. And you're just like, 10 guys that's also buffing the rest of the army and throwing down with his ion rifle.
Obviously, they're designed to be almost like a glass cannon to get out there, one shot, kill them, and then go off. But that's not the way it works out all the time.
No, not always. Well, to the same reasons that I talked about the Catachans projecting board control and ability, these guys do the same while doing damage, which is why I rank them higher than the Catachans, because they'll actually just blow stuff up. We talk about when we stream, we talk about the skirmish war quite a lot and who's going to win the skirmish war, because a lot of people won't pull out their big stuff until the skirmish war is decided. The first 1 or 2 turns, they'll stage up, they'll fight all the skirmishes here and around there. They'll try and remove each other's scouts and infiltrators and unlock the deep strikes and stuff like that rapidly. And Pathfinders just annihilate the skirmish game. They destroy it, they crack it open, and then they keep going. They've got grenades, man. Like, they do it all.
That's those keywords.
Good. Still not number 1 on our list. Somehow.
All right, number 1. So everybody, take your guesses right now what the number 1 utility unit is. We'll just wait for like 10 seconds. Because there's a lot of choices out there. This is utility units, remember. So the utility units we talked about so far are board control, a lot of board control, like basically that. Scoring, layers that you can build onto them with your special rules and things like that, and then things that have a lot of special rules. So what do y'all think the number 1 is? A little bit of a drum roll. Number 1, Combi Weapon Lieutenant from the Space Marines. Combi Weapon Lieutenant, number 1 utility unit.
Sorry to say, there's probably a gap between the Pathfinders and this guy, because my God, what are we doing? You just stealth, feel no pain, infiltrate, react, auto 6-inch reactive move. Just what a combination of scoring potential that you kind of don't get to interact with ever on your terms.
Yeah.
Some detachments, it has 2 reactive moves. It has just doubles up. Armor of Contempt access. I cannot say enough. The only thing I can say to this guy's detriment, and thank God he doesn't do that much damage. Like, thank God this guy doesn't do damage.
But you don't necessarily need him to do much damage, other than the fact he nominates that objective. You're on that objective, we coming at you.
Well, so I talk about lone ops being used in aggressive armies or in well-rounded armies as a lodestone, where you're like, here's my lone op character, I'm going to put it on my expansion or the middle. You must do something about this, otherwise it generates me value and whatever. You try and you have to walk within 12 to shoot the guy. And then you'll have to walk within 9 if you want to take the objective off. If you walk within 12 and don't walk within 9, they won't reactive move. They'll stay on the objective. And they'll try and get through your damage with stealth, AOC, feel no pain. Armor contain, exactly right. If you come within 9 on the objective, the Combi Weapon Lieutenant player, by now, with the 300 games they have of him, are like, that's going to kill it, move 6-inch. And in most of our formats, that's going to get into safety.
Either on the outside of a wall or something like that, take him out of line of sight.
Yep, back into transport, on the other side of the wall, or outside lone op range, and they can't be targeted again. It's just one of the best combinations of rules to have on an above average durability chassis because of feel no pain and stealth. In an army that kind of doesn't have anything else that does this, you kind of have to go to the only other models that do something like this are like Sanguinor Mephiston, which are both so many more points. Of course, they absolute things, but they're double the points almost. Like, there's so many more points, and they have, like, when you use those models like that, you're like, this is a waste of an amazing killing potential. I mean, you can go out of your way to get it with some enhancements and some niche detachments like Raven Guard, things like that. But still, you won't have the reactive move, you won't have the stealth, and you won't have to feel no pain. And this guy just comes with all that built in. And I can't tell you that there is a better utility data sheet that has been printed this edition.
Nope, not for all those reasons. But look, number 5, the Jaegers, number 4, Gargoyles, number 3, Catachans, number 2, Pathfinders, number 1, the Space Marine Combi Weapon Lieutenant. Let us know where we went wrong. What would you put on this list, and where, or do we get it exactly right? Which I think there's a whole lot of. Of course we did. Look, these things do stuff, right? You can't find a better package of things that do stuff on the table when used by someone that has a little experience with.
Let me do a 2-minute killer and filler TED talk. Paul and I do not judge a lot of armies and strength of lists based on the killer. Because at this stage of the edition, if people want to kill stuff, they're going to find units that kill them.
Yep.
Or they're going to find a unit and slam enough buffs, characters, and CP into it until it gets done. Killing each other is not an issue in 10th edition. Scoring more points than your opponent is still where games are won and lost. Movement is still the most important place to be. Utility units control your opponent's movement, have explosive movement themselves, and are usually more reliably than not the thing that scores you the winning amount. And so the killer is not as important as the filler.
Well said, and we're going to wrap it up with that. Thanks a lot for joining us this week again. Sorry for missing last week. We will be back next week, hopefully with the full crew here. Do not forget to leave those comments, like, share, and subscribe, and all that stuff that you know the algorithm wants you to do so other people can find us as well. Adam, it's a pleasure talking with you. I'll see you all next week, everybody.
Take care.
Spec scan is clear. I think they're gone for now.